Welcome to Sisterly Yours with Sandra. And I am so excited today that I have two beautiful ladies here with me today. We're talking about Valentine and love. And we thought, what better way to talk about love than to bring some of our leading ladies to the forefront. We're going to talk about their hobbies. We're going to talk about their hubbies. And we're going to talk about humanity. And so I am pleased to have with me Lady Velma Kemp from the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church.
Thank you.
And beautiful Janice Dailey with me from the Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church. I'm honored to work with these ladies at the Guadalupe District Association. And so, ladies, welcome this morning.
Thank you.
We want to talk with you this morning about the women behind the men that God has called. And although these are senior pastors' women, there's certainly a message for ministers' wives who are just starting, pastors' wives who are on their way. Yes. And I think we've got a plethora of experience here. And so with that, we're going to get rolling. Let's talk about your hobbies first so that they know that you're regular people too. We wear a lot of hats, but we're just regular people too. So Velma, why don't we start with you and talk about your hobbies or what a day in your life looks like?
Okay, so hobbies for me, let me tell you, I love gardening. I don't get a chance to do it.
Really?
I love putting my hands in the dirt.
So we have to get those tomatoes, right?
Planting a little stuff. And so I don't get a chance to do it as much. And for so long, I started out with a full garden. Then I did that by the foot, gardening that way. And now
now you're down to the pot.
Now I'm down to the pot on my deck. But I still love to play in the dirt and watch and see things grow. So one of my favorite hobbies is gardening. Flowers, little tomato plants, and little stuff. But just to see God's, how nature
wonderful,
come forth. And then of course I love shopping.
Can we tell?
I think gardening and shopping goes hand
in hand, right?
For me, it does. Do a little gardening. Let's
go shopping. I love it. While we're with you, Velma, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? Just a little bit about Velma.
So Velma, let me tell you about Velma. Velma is from a little town called England, Arkansas. I grew up in Arkansas.
Okay.
I am a preacher's kid. I am a PK.
Okay, so you've been accustomed to this road.
Awesome. And so grew up in rural Arkansas, graduated, went to college and at the University of Central Arkansas, majored in marketing, married my high school sweetheart,
all that
kind of stuff.
Wonderful.
And so I'm from Arkansas.
Wonderful. And Janice, how do you spend your time? Tell us a little bit about you and what you like to do.
This lady could come and help me take care of my house plant.
I love it. I'm with you.
Yes. That is a little, my hubby and Jerry Nicole will say, look, you deal with that. That's your thing. Don't ask us to water. But I found it's refreshing for me. And I take the time in terms of saying, okay, like now out the gardening, look, the heat in San Antonio normally.
No, can't handle it.
But again, the house plants.
The
house plants. Yes. And I really should stretch that because I need more.
Right.
I'm short. If one looks like it's failing and I'm losing the touch, I'll end, I need to go get some dirt.
Yes.
I need to go buy some dirt and then replenish. But and then keep. But I try to pull at least my daughter into it when we go out of town. Don't let my
skill transfer, right? Keep up with the
alive. Just keep them alive.
Wonderful.
Don't forget.
Yes.
My hubby and I married in 1977.
Wonderful.
And I had to go away for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I came back. At the time, he was pastoring in Pennsylvania, but we lived in Delaware.
Okay.
We came, he picked up the airport, came home, and my indoor plants, he had them outside.
Oh, no. Not in Texas.
No, but this was in Delaware.
In Delaware.
They were did.
Oh my.
He left
And
him
my
outside.
heart
Just the
was sad.
reverse.
You say, well, I thought I was dead.
Trying to give
But
him
anyway, that goes to show you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying, okay, but with that, and to tell you where I'm from, I'm a native of Alexandria, Louisiana.
Okay. Okay.
Louisiana.
Lady.
I am also a PK.
Okay.
Wow.
PK as
PK,
well. My
PK.
dad was my oldest sister.
And PK, for those of you who don't know, is a preacher's kid. Okay, thank you.
My oldest sister, 4 years older than I am. I'm gonna soon be 70. But making the point, Dad
Praise
was
God.
pastoring even when she was born. Just
Wow.
to go to, but when you mentioned earlier, we were discussing about a bivocational situation.
Yeah.
My dad was let me tell you, trivocational. Back then, 13 children,
Yes.
pastoring,
Mm-hmm.
carpenter,
Wow.
and a barber.
All
Wow.
right.
Because at that time, the salary,
Sure,
Yeah.
in order to
Yeah.
take care of that
Pastor.
household. Absolutely.
just the pastoring
Mhm.
salary
Wasn't enough.
Absolutely.
was not,
Not
even close.
enough. Wonderful.
So, but anyway, we haven't.
So I
and
have
all of
two
this
PK kids
Exactly.
here. Well, I am not a PK kid, okay, and I am Sandra Jolla, and I serve at the exciting West End Baptist Church, and I am a native of Montgomery, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yes.
Louisiana and Arkansas.
Louisiana, Arkansas.
All right.
We've got that
Southern
Southern girl
Yes.
hookup here. So we're just pleased to be here. My husband is Reverend Dr. Michelangelo Jolla. And so let's talk, ladies, about your hubbies. We know that the life of a pastor's wife, a minister's wife, we have to take on the roles of all of the other responsibilities, but God has placed us in a special calling.
Yes,
So what
yes.
do you and your hubbies do when they move away from the church, get home, and it's time for some downtime?
Ooh, downtime.
I know, right? Find the downtime.
That's kind of few and far in between at times. But I tell you, one of the things that we do, and we are Spurs fans. We love the Spurs. Go
Yay for the
Spurs.
Spurs.
We need y'all to pray for the Spurs.
All right.
We're
Bring it
struggling
on,
right
bring it
now,
on.
but we have been longtime Spurs fans.
Wonderful.
And so one of the things that's quick and easy is that we have season tickets. And so it forces us sometimes, because you can get caught into all that's going on.
Absolutely.
But having that reminder that there's a game
Wonderful.
tonight, and it gets us out of
Sure.
I love it.
out of our regular,
Certainly.
and give us an opportunity to just go yell, scream, eat all kinds of not
And
good
court.
food.
We
And
court too.
That's right. We
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
And hang out. He's my BFF.
I love it.
And
I
so
love
we
it.
hang out. But that's one of the things that we do.
Wonderful.
And then another is we try to spend time specifically just to kind of go out to dinner, to a movie, just opportunity to relax a little.
Wonderful.
We don't get away out of the city a lot.
Wonderful.
So when we're not able to get out of the city, that's what we do. And then we do have trips. We get away.
Awesome.
Take a moment.
Makes,
Take a moment.
it's important.
It's very important.
It's important. And what about you?
Very, very
Similar?
Normally for fun, as you said, with church activities, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. If not a Bible study, if not a revival, if not a conference, if not a convention going on, then even at the conventions,
Right.
we sometimes
Yes.
will say, such and such.
Take away. Yes, absolutely.
Just the two of us.
So let me put a footnote
just
right
the
there,
two of
because I
us.
think it's important that we understand, even as ministers' wives, that we have to be intentional, is
Very
what I
much
think
so.
you are
Very
saying.
much
We
so.
have to be intentional that in the midst of all of our schedules, that we take time to downtime and to hold hands
Just
and
to
to be
nurture
BFFs
ourselves.
and to say, after they've used you, abused you, and
Come on
confused
now.
you, we're here to amuse you.
Yes.
But it's so
yes,
important
yes.
because the overload
Yeah.
can be so severe until if we don't take that time to be
Yes,
intentional.
yes,
And I know
yes.
I get caught up, and Pastor will say, he's told me for tomorrow, pack your bag. It's like, well, where are we going? You know, I've got this, and this. And you just pack your bag and be ready at 9 o'clock in the morning.
All
Okay,
right now.
intentional. We have to be
That's
intentional
great.
that we
Sure.
continue to love and that we
Sure.
continue to court. We're going to pause right now, and we'll be right back for just a moment.
Hello, this is Bishop David Copeland of the New Creation Christian Fellowship. Join me and the Clergy Academy as we host a night of celebration Monday, February 24th for the Black Worship Clergy Hall of Fame Dinner. Share with us as we induct Pastor Claudette Copeland of the New Creation Christian Fellowship, the Very Reverend Father Kevin Faust of the Holy Redeemer Catholic Church. I'm looking forward to see you. Come and be with us.
1, 6, or a dozen trees. No job is too big or too small. Booker's Tree Services is a certified arborist and state licensed company. On the ground or in the air, we are here to take care of all your tree needs, from stump grinding, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree removal, and much more. Call the professionals to help manage your commercial or residential needs. Don't let your trees make you nervous. Call for a free estimate today at Booker Tree Service, 210-657-8085.
40% of food in America is never eaten.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Hello, I'm Tony Hendricks, Chief Operating Officer at Lewis Funeral Home. Lewis Funeral Home has been serving San Antonio and surrounding areas for over 100 years. Lewis Funeral Home's ultimate goal is to help those families in their time of need. If your family is ever in need, please feel free to call us at Lewis Funeral Home, 210-227-7281, or check us out on our website at lewisfuneralhome.com.
Nothing to do this week? Don't miss another event. Go to blacksinsanantonio.com for our event calendar. The home of the largest business directory in San Antonio with an African American focus. Sign up today for our weekly e-blast and text message alerts. Help us make this a better community. Connect, empower, grow.
Welcome back, and we're here with Lady Velma Kemp and Lady Janice Dailey, and we're just talking about the day in the life of a pastor's wife. And I think what I would like to talk about now is there are pastors' wives, maybe even ministers' wives, who their husbands have just announced their calling, and they put a footnote and say, well, that's the calling on them.
Right.
That has nothing to do with me. Let's talk about that. And Janice, why don't we start with you?
All right. I believe, and I think Christians, believers, we are in the mode of accepting the fact that God has said, what I joined together, let no man put asunder. And he's told us not to be unequally yoked.
All right.
So when we feel he's pulled us together, whether my husband is pastoring before you get married,
which is
and
the
you're
other
dating,
one, right?
You're dating, and you know he's a preacher. then you've got to be so powerfully in prayer.
Yes.
That, Lord, is this really
Love it.
what you want? I love this person.
Right.
I'm in
Yes.
love
Yes.
with this person.
Right.
And I believe that as we delve into before marriage and then even into it, I bargained with God.
Yes.
I made a covenant
Wonderful.
first with God.
I love it. Which says you
I
had a
made-
relationship
with God.
with God
I
first.
was in love with
I love
God
it.
before I met Jerry Dailey.
Yes.
But as we grow in Him and we're pulled toward wanting to make adjustments because I'm in the Word.
Yes.
And I'm saying, oh my God.
Right.
What you said I will call pastors
Yes.
according to my heart.
Love
well,
it.
now we're married.
Right.
We're married.
Velma.
We're coming into this together.
I love it.
And so for me, being that I am a preacher's kid, I knew the life of a pastor's
Sure.
home. My mother was my role model. However, I married my husband. He was a doctor, medical doctor,
Right.
not a preacher. But when he accepted his call to the ministry, I understood. And I share with young ministers' wives, preachers' wives that are coming into it, because for me, like with you, Janice, you knew what you were going into. I came into thinking I'm marrying a doctor and that we were going to
Right.
live that life. We were both actively involved in church,
Sure.
but he was a doctor. But I tell young ministers' wives that you have to look at this, first of all, God has called you, and that you all are married and you are as one. And if you can support your husband in his job, in whatever else that he's doing, then when he announced that he has been called into the ministry, be fair about it.
Yes.
Be fair about it.
Right.
Support him in that ministry.
Sure.
And I tell people I tell the women all the time, you will be blessed. I
Right.
promise you, you
Yes.
will be blessed
Sure.
for simply being there for that man
Right.
as he served God.
Wonderful.
God will bless you. And I can tell you from experience, I did not go into this as a pastor's wife or looking for a pastor to be my husband.
Right.
But God blessed me with
Yes.
that. And within that, we have where I am his
Whole.
Yeah, we're
You
whole.
become whole.
Amen.
I am his
Absolutely.
helpmate.
And
I'm
I
there.
think because I was not a PK kid.
Yeah.
And had no idea that my husband was going to announce a call, but I did have a relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
And so once you get that connection, you know that God calls you to purpose. And so to your point, Janice, if we are equally yoked and God has put us together,
Absolutely.
no man situation can set us asunder.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate the fact that both of you, and that's what I love so much about working with these women. We have got some powerful women here in San Antonio who are standing with their husbands, but who recognize that they have a calling and a purpose that God has called them to.
Amen.
And once I can do that, then I have no, because it's not about me.
It is not.
Because the scripture says the battle is not ours anyway.
It's the
right?
Lord's.
The battle is the Lord's.
May I please
So let's,
just add,
yes.
as we were talking about complementing and completing each other, yes, we support them, but then they support us.
Absolutely.
They
It works
support
both
us.
That's
ways.
that oneness. That's that
That
unity.
is the oneness.
That is the
together as
oneness.
one.
Support each other.
That's right.
And I would say to any pastor's wife, if you don't know your spiritual gift or gifts,
Right.
it is imperative
Yes.
that you discover
Great message.
what that is.
Yes.
Because the real spiritual fulfillment, yes, being
Comes
with
in
him,
that.
but
But
it
you got to
comes.
have it with you.
Yes.
Janice, I think you're on just a core point, because God makes each and every one of us uniquely us, which means he has poured into us his spirit and he's made us who he wants us to be. So we tap into that that purpose that God has for us. And when we do that and we stand beside our husbands, the fulfillment is not with me being on my husband's arm. I mean, he looks good and all that, okay?
Yes.
The fulfillment comes with my connection with the Lord. Absolutely. And walking into the gifts that God has given me and him supporting me, to your point, as I support him. That's where the oneness comes in.
Absolutely. And I also would like to add that it's important as a minister's wife, pastor's wife, that you remember that you need to be yourself.
Sure.
You cannot spend your time trying to figure out, trying to be like somebody else.
Amen.
Love it.
Good point.
I promise you, do you, honey.
Do you.
Do you. And I think if you putting God first and praying and allowing the Lord to lead and guide you, then you can do just that. Be your own person. Amen. And God will give you, like you said, your gifts where that you can do his will and serve him by being you.
Wonderful.
I am the pastor's wife, but I'm also Velma.
Absolutely. And I think that's important. I think it's important that we recognize who God has called us to be, because that's that completeness that you talked about. I don't have to worry about who I am. I can walk into my purpose as I'm fulfilling my role of being, first of all, a wife and then a pastor's wife. I love it. I have one little quote here, and I want you to respond to this. When we get to the end of our life, the question playing over and over in our mind will be, did my life make a difference? How would you say your life is making a difference?
Wow.
For me, I love encouraging others. And I believe when the good, the bad, the ugly, part-time, I'm a sub-teacher in Northside School District. And when I see children from all facets of life, some coming broken, some with a lot of self-esteem, that they need to be encouraged.
Wonderful.
And to know that you've never fallen so low that God can't lift you.
Beautiful.
And he uses people.
Beautiful.
He uses teachers. He uses parents.
Wonderful.
He uses pastors to nurture all of us. Church is like a hospital. To nurture. So I
love it.
I believe I have helped somebody. By being an encourager.
Wonderful.
That I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me.
And let's let Velma get Velma. We're getting so excited here. I'm feeling you, Janice.
Thanks.
Velma.
I piggyback off of what Janice has just said, is that I pray, my prayer is that every day, that whatever I do that day, that someone will see the good in me. Someone will see the God in me. And that they can see that this is a woman who will help, wants to help. It is not my desire to hurt anyone or to discourage anyone. And I think that, like you talked about with the children, my mother instinct, the motherly instinct in me is that I just want to embrace all the little ones and make sure that they know that they are important and that God loves them.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that absolutely wonderful? And likewise, if I can just help somebody along the way, then I know that my living has not been in vain. Amen. Well, we're signing out. We're so happy to have you join us, and so glad to be here with my friends, Janice and Velma, and hopefully we encourage some woman who may be standing beside a man who's been called by God. Sisterly yours. This is Sandra. Bye.